Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review. This is episode number 67. This I'm reviewing the 855th episode of the anime, The End of the Deadly Battle, Katakuri's Awakening Anger, and the 900th and 19th chapter manga, The Ruins of the Oden Castle. Yep. Now, this episode roughly adapts pages 8 through 17 of chapter 882 and pages 2 through 5 of 883. Yep. Yeah, this whole episode, with the exception, I would say, of one scene, takes place entirely in the mirror world. The rest of the Straw Hat Crew is nowhere to be seen in this episode. This is nothing unusual because in the manga, the Straw Hat Crew is actually absent during this part of the story for at least for several chapters. The one point where they're actually, there's actually a couple of little scenes set outside of it. One is Peckham's, and I think his name is Sestro. I think his name is the guy who created candles. The guy who created living books. Yeah, they talk, and of course Peckham's is basically grieving over the death of Pedro from about 6 episodes back. Yeah, the guy died back in episode 59. Yep, that's when he died, and he's basically grieving over his death, which is perfectly acceptable. His partner, who usually travels with him in a lot of places, I think his name is Baron Tamango, he actually is grieving himself, though he's not crying, but he does respect Pedro as an opponent and a good rival, and he's sad to hear that Pedro died. He wasn't there, but there's that. Those who be curious, though, is Big Mom this episode? Nope. She is not. She is nowhere to be seen. She's referenced a couple times, but no appearance by Big Mom the whole episode. Nothing unusual about this because she was absent. I mean, throughout the remainder of this arc, she doesn't really appear that much at all. No, half the time she didn't appear very rarely. There was even a brief scene where you have the fire tank pirates being attacked by Custard. Yes, there is the sixth daughter of Big Mom. Her name is Custard. Yeah, that is seriously her name, Custard. And I'm thinking, okay, why the heck would you name your daughter after a sweet? Well, there's nothing unusual about this because Big Mom loves candy, so name one of her daughters after sweet. I've had custard before. It's basically a type of ice cream. Mm-hmm. And this by far her first parent out of the manga, as far as I can tell when it comes to her. Yeah, here's Charlotte Custard. Yep. Yeah, several of the Charlotte siblings basically pop up in this episode. At least about a good dozen of them, a little bit more than usual. And those of you wondering, no Oven. Oven is not seeing this part. He doesn't show up again for several more chapters. When he takes on Pound, the father of Clifton and Lola. Yep. And of course, she does fire on the fire tank pirates. Fire tank pirates fire back a few times. First, they hit around her ship, and they hit one of two of her support ships. Create a smoke screen so they easily get away. And that's the only thing they do the whole episode. She's a lovely looking woman. Basically, she just got hair. Yeah, she's a sixth daughter. I don't know exactly how old this woman is. I mean, she looks like she's probably in her... I mean, looking at her online here, she looks like she's... I'd say about in her... I'd say late 20s, early 30s. She's a lovely looking woman. Anyways, the whole episode is Luffy versus Katakuri. And him using and Luffy frequently dodging Katakuri, and Luffy pointing out though that, man, this fight is giving me a lot of fatigue, and Katakuri agrees with him. Yeah, this fight is stressing him out too because it's going on for a good while, though this fight goes on for like most of the remaining arc. Yeah, this particular fight goes on in the manga for at least about 10 more chapters. Yeah, it wraps up around, I think it was like 892, I think that's when this thing wraps up. So, expect to see this wrap up probably about 10 episodes. Mm-hmm. Yep. mean, Luffy still uses various moves like the Grizzly Magnum, Eagle Bazooka. He uses a bunch of moves. At one point, he even grabs Katakuri's spear, the mole, and even Katakuri was surprised the fact he managed to grab it. Not with his hands, but with his feet. Though sandal feet, but yeah, he grabbed it with his feet, which I was surprised to see that. Yep. So this overall was just a pretty good episode, and at the end of the episode, Luffy is piled up. It's basically a bunch of mochi. It's basically his dead for ability. Heck, they even referenced Dressrosa in this episode. It's like, hey, like him doing an awakening. Yeah, it's like Doflamingo did that. Yeah, it's something though. He references Doflamingo in an arc that has nothing to do with Doflamingo at all. And it's nice that the anime actually made a reference to something that happened toward the end of Dressrosa, was during the birdcage part of the thing where the cage was basically shrinking down and trying to crush almost all the cities on the island of Dressrosa. Very similar to that. And of course, next episode, even though he's covered by mochi, he eats it all up and he gets to Gear 4 next episode. But I love it the way halfway through the episode he says, Gear 4, interesting. Yeah, he actually said at the end of chapter 382. I remember this very well. Yeah, it's surprising that they put that halfway through. Makes sense because they only adapted the last 10 pages of the chapter. Overall, really good episode. Definitely looking forward to next week's episode. I should point out, though, I found this out online. Apparently, this is the last episode they used the opening Hope. Yep, the opening theme that's been there since episode number 807. This episode's the last one. After almost 50 episodes of using it, they're going to change the opening theme. And this apparently was the 6th opening theme that they used for this particular season. For the second half of the show. And they're going to do it with another one called Superpowers. Yeah, next week's episode is going to be a debut of Superpowers. And possibly, the whole thing of Katakuri Shrine. This is also the adaptation of the chapter. We're also going to see Katakuri's mouth for the first time in the anime. I saw in the manga, it is a weird looking mouth. It's got razor sharp teeth. Yeah, it's one of the most weirdest things I've ever seen when it comes to a character. And Luffy himself has no problem with the mouth at all. Because the way Katakuri is depicted is that he's embarrassed by his mouth. And he thought that people would hate him for his mouth. Luffy doesn't have a problem with the look of his mouth. He's seen weirder things than that. So he has really no problem with it. Luffy doesn't say anything, but it's implied by his reaction to seeing it. Okay, now for this newest chapter, first we have on the cover 4 more division commanders of the Grand Handstraw fleet. We have the captain of the Ido Pirates, Ido, Luffy of the Leo of the Tatsuri Corps, New Giant Pirates commanded by Harrigan, and Orlumbus, the commander of the Urchin fleet. Which way this fleet is about 40 ships. Yep. So the chapter starts off with Luffy handing off Tama to the female Centaurian. Apparently works for the Beast Pirates. Though I don't think he knows that. But, yeah, well, she doesn't know who he actually really is. But, yeah, hands her off to him so she can look after him. And Zoro's with him. And, of course, everybody's, very happy to see him. And the whole town thanks him for the treasure of all the food. And Luffy's very happy. Talk about the Shogun. And we see Kazuha family prior, money exchange. Yeah, we see somebody of the Kazuha family. And then we see Luffy with the tea girl. And of course seeing the ruins of the castle, seeing people's names on those graves. And of course he gets a chance to talk to Trafalgar Law. And then he runs into Kaimon. First time that he's shown up since the Zoo arc. It's been a while, a long time. I would say a good almost 100 chapters since we last saw him. And apparently he's wounded. He's very happy to see him. He was like, nope. And apparently this tea girl is in love with him, so she just jumps right on top of him. And of course, the little boy pervert is there. Yep. the actual Daimyo, he's there, and then pretty much most of the Straw Hat crew reunites with Luffy, Sanji, Nami, Carrot, Chopper, and Brook. Very happy to see these people. I mean, it's been a good. I'm trying to think though. I think it's been almost 11 chapters since we last saw them. Well, actually, the last time they actually physically showed up was actually the start of this very arc. And it is something, though, that most of the Straw Hats have reunited at this point. So I would say, as of this chapter, most of the Straw Hats have reunited, except for they have not reunited with Robin, Frankie, and Usopp. Luffy reunited first with Zoro, and of course, then we have the rest of the crew who came with him to the island, came to Wild Country. But still, he hasn't reunited with us four yet. He's probably going to search them really soon. Mm-hmm. And it's nice that he reunited with Trafalgar Law. And then the chapter, like, apparently Luffy says that he's apparently holding back too many secrets. And apparently we're going to do a flashback next chapter. It says, the truth is, we came from Wild Country of 20 years ago by traveling forward through time. Okay. So apparently the reason why they look pretty much the same is because they're time travelers. Okay. I did not expect this at all. Like, so apparently One Piece is doing time traveling now. Okay. It's a bit unusual because some of the stuff that you in the show is somewhat realistic, but time travel. Okay. As far as I know, this is not the first series I could think of where they've actually done time travel. They've done it in one of the Naruto films. Let's see. They've done it in Dragon Ball Z at least once. And of course they've done it in Super. They did it in one of the DBZ films. And they did it in Super. I'm trying to think, there was any other shows that did actual time travel. Let me think. I know Bleach never did it. I know Fairy Tail. Yes, Fairy Tail has done it. Though that's going to be mentioned in the upcoming season. It's already up next month. I'm trying to think though. Was there any other series I could think of that actually did time travel? I don't count JoJo's Bizarre Adventure because that freezes time. Doesn't count as time travel. I mean, I know there's a series Drifters, but I have a chance to review it. I have a chance to read the manga or watch the anime, so I'm not going to count that yet. I'm trying to think. Of all the series I've watched, this is probably by far the third series I can think of that actually dealt with time travel. Yeah, the third one, which is quite surprising. And they mentioned why these characters look like exactly the same, because they apparently time travel through time. Interesting plot twist. And yeah, I'm looking forward to how they explain this in the next chapter, which comes out later on this week. Yep. So yeah, that's really it for this particular review. Oh, rating for this chapter, 10 out of 10. It's an amazing chapter. With this particular chapter, it kind of feels like we wrap up like a good first portion of this. Even though this arc is only about, I'd say about 11 chapters. Actually, no, it's 11 chapters in. I would say we wrap up the first portion in the way, but we haven't wrapped the whole arc together. But I would say we're about 10% into this arc. That's my personal guess. Okay, so that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned for our next review, which is going to be a review of the newest episode of Gintama. I was hoping to do the OVA episode last night, but I didn't get a chance to watch it. But I'll review it with the newest episode of Gintama. And I'll hopefully get a chance to watch the animated films. And then pretty much after that, I may get a chance to watch the Gintama live action. If not today, maybe tomorrow. Okay? But to see you next review. Bye.